anyone who's turned on the television for the last 5 months has seen an ad that has continuously been perpetuated on multiple stations and networks. And for some reason, when I'm watching TV, it pops up more often than not. How are you doing, Fresh? Um, that is referring to the ad by Tom Steyer advocating for Trump's impeachment. And even if he. So, the ad itself is not necessarily bad. It's very well choreographed, nice frame, message is clear. The problem is that it presents things in an overly simplified way, and it has a little bit of a disingenuous nature. So, for example, he mentions during his pleading for people to get members of Congress to get Trump out of office. Oh, a Republican Congress wants to impeach the president for far less. Well, that president he's referring to, if I'm correct, is Clinton, which I don't know why he couldn't say the person's name, who was a member of the Democratic Party. And in every impeachment case or effort to where there was impeachment proceedings that actually made it to where the person did get impeached, even if they weren't removed from office, it was the opposing party of the sitting president that did so. So for example, when Nixon was close to being on his way out, there was a Democratic majority. Um, right now, and again, he was Republican, so the opposite party was in control. With Clinton, same thing. Opposite party in control. Republicans controlling both chambers, and Democrats the minority. So that's one thing that is presented in the. Wow, here it is again. Uh, every I don't think there's been a commercial break on any television I have that has not played that commercial. And it was sad because I thought to myself, he spent millions of dollars on a pretty camera, ridiculous amounts of TV time, and a message that, no matter how clear it is, isn't going to influence the votes of the House or the Senate in this proposed impeachment effort. So I've been bothered by that for the last several days, and I'm kind of more so focusing on it because he wants to he's rather exploring the possibility of running for governor of California. And I have to think to myself, the person who wants to be my next governor is someone that is advocating for something that they know won't happen. Which is funny. Yeah, Fresh is correct. Japan mostly has better commercials. Um, I'm bothered by it. I think it's a waste of time and money. This kind of goes back to what I was talking about before, where we have this problem in the U.S. of taking ridiculous amounts of cash and just wasting it on something that doesn't prove to be fruitful. You have to ask yourself, this man really is concerned about what Trump is doing. Wouldn't he try to help out those he feels are being tampered with in their life by Trump's policy? So, for example, maybe instead of taking millions of dollars and running a commercial about the unlikelihood of Congress being represented by Trump's party getting rid of him, why couldn't he take those millions of dollars and help out some of these children in the inner cities and give them jobs? Or maybe pay for some of them to go to school? It seems as if there is this unwillingness to go and do things that I would think are common sense on the part of not law enforcement, of just officials that are in positions of power, whether that's governors or senators or presidents. But he's none of those. And, they're calling him an activist on these sites I've read about him on, where I'm not really seeing much effectiveness as an activist. I just see someone screaming at a wall and expecting a change. And that's not really what my idea of being influential and actually doing something is about. So whenever I see that ad and I know that he spent millions of dollars to get that on TV and he wants to do another one on the internet, I believe, um, I'm bothered because that's cash that could have gone to helping individuals who aren't obsessed with somebody they don't even know being removed from office. Again, as though the same problems we've had this year, the same ones we had last year. That's something people don't realize. He doesn't seem very active to me. Otherwise, I should scream at my dream eater Mary figure. Um, Again, now I'm going off of what they've said on these sites. They have described him as an activist, and I went and looked up his stuff in regards to who he's backed and who he's in favor of, and he just appears to be another corporate type of associate. You know, his backing of Obama and Clinton and the entire Democratic corporate machine. So I just don't see where in any way he's any better than Trump as far as what he's advocating for. Even if you don't know what his stances on issues are, if you back the person who has that stance, why is it so hard to believe that you're not at least in favor of a majority of the stuff they're into? So even if one were to say, "Oh, well, you don't know what Steyer's actual belief system is," well, I know that he backed people who, you know, kept a war in Afghanistan going for no reason, killed plenty of people. I know he's in favor of just the way things were under Obama, which, you know, I'm not exactly, as I've said before on this channel, in favor of either a majority of the Democratic or Republican parties, but there are policies that are perpetuated by both that can be fixed by people who aren't, wasn't that war for resources? No, that war was an attempt by the Bush administration, referring to the Afghanistan one, to make you think that they were doing something in the way of combating the perpetrators of the September 11th attacks, and that this was supposedly going to be our revenge or our comeback. It was supposed to be a modern era World War II entry, but it just has poured over into nothing. So I refuse to believe. And the sad thing is, there are plenty of people, both within positions of power and within the common stream, just being citizens, that think that's a good war. We need to stay over there. I mean, I've had people come over to my content and go, "Oh, yes, this was a good decision. Trump's doing the right thing." Like, yeah, but Trump's doing the Obama thing and the Bush thing. And I kept hearing from his supporters how this was going to be different, how he's not a politician, and he gets in office and does the same conflict that I had a problem with his predecessors over. That's highly irrelevant for us. So I'll have something else up tomorrow. I'm just getting tired of seeing that ad over and over. In the context of this video, it played once more. I just looked over and laughed briefly when I saw it. You know, it really shows, because I want this to be understood. My problem with it is both that its message is disingenuous, and that the funds for it could have been allocated to actually helping people out in these lower income communities, or just anywhere really within the U.S. If you're so bothered by what Trump's doing and, you know, his lack of concern for certain things, why don't you do it? And most people can't. They don't have the cash, but he has millions of dollars to go and spend on some nonsense on the television, but not to actually do something of benefit to the people that live in California and all the other states. And you want to be my governor? So that's my stance on that ad. I hope it doesn't play anymore. I know it will. I hope it doesn't play that much anymore tonight, although it probably will. I can't even be excited after that. So I'll have something else up tomorrow. Have a good day.